Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and it's a snow day here. So I'm making homemade tomato soup for supper. Let's make cheese crackers to go with it. Okay, so what you're going to need is a half a stick of butter or an eighth of a pound, a half a pound of grated sharp cheddar or about 2 cups, 1 cup of flour, and a couple of tablespoons of ice water. Let's get started. Okay, since my flour is my 4-year-old oven can flour, it may have some lumps in it, so I'm going to put that in here first. And you're going to need a food processor with an S-blade, folks. I mean, I'm sure you can do this without it, but this makes it a lot easier. And we're just going to pulse, just to break up our flour. Now we're going to add our butter and our cheese. And we're going to pulse this until it's mixed. That's excellent. Just the way we want it. Now we're going to pulse it and we're going to start adding our 2 tablespoons of ice water. Now folks, you don't necessarily have to put it all in. You just want this to come together in a clump. So do your water gradually. Why do we want ice water? For the same reason as we do with our pastry. We don't want to melt the butter. And you just want this to come in the consistency that you can press it together like that. Okay, we'll see you at the table. Okay, so now what we're going to do, you don't have to do this, but it makes it so much easier to work with after the fact. So I'm lining a small 8-inch square cake pan with parchment, and I'm just going to dump all this in here. And I'm going to press it into the pan so that we can chill it. And this just makes it easier to roll out. And then I'm going to put this in the fridge to chill for an hour. Okay, I have put out my usual cloth, only this time to keep my tablecloth over my island from getting dirty. Because what I'm going to do is when I cut these crackers up after they're rolled out, I'm going to just lift this whole sheet onto the cookie sheet. So here, now if you think I use excessive amounts of parchment paper, folks, remember, a little bit of hot water, scrub it up, rinse it, and hang it over a cupboard door to dry. It's reusable. Okay. I'm going to turn this over so the nice flat side is on here. Now you don't have to have this, but I have one of these fancy crimped edge pastry cutter things. Why don't you just make it look nice? All right. I'm going to take these outside cracked edges off, and maybe I can do a little more with them after the fact. And we're going to make our little, if you want to be really fussy, you can measure these out with a ruler. But this is pretty much the size and shape we want. Okay. Now that we have these like this, I'm just going to go with a bamboo skewer, and I'm just going to dot a hole in them. Now this hole is not just for aesthetics, folks. This hole is so that the crackers will cook all the way through. And if you look at the ingredients on this video, and you look at the ingredients on the box of Cheez-Its, I think you'll be in for a bit of a shock at how much extra stuff is put in the crackers. that really isn't necessary unless they're going to be on the shelf long term. And like I said, we can vacuum seal these in a jar and they're going to be good. So I just may make several batches and vacuum seal them and put them on the pantry shelf for the next time we have a soup day. Now, whoops. Now, if you want, you can, lift these and separate them to put them on the cookie sheet. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the pointed end of the skewer between these and just give them some space in between. I probably could have done this while I was poking them. Might have been a better idea. Okay, I'm going to slide it like this. And Bob's your uncle. They're on the cookie sheet. You're going to until they're cooked and puffed. You don't want them too browned because they will continue to cook as they cool. So they'll get crunchier as they cool. So you don't want to overcook them. All right, I'm going to roll up this last bit of extra dough, and we'll see you when these come out of the oven. Okay, these are done, and they took 14 minutes at 375. I'm just going to slide them right off the cookie sheet. I'm just going to slide a couple of baking racks under this, just to let air circulate. Wow. Here's our Cheez-Its. You got to try the Cheez-Its. Oh. Not that you haven't been munching on them.
They're good.
They're good. Okay. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, nothing tells your folks that you love them when you spend a snowy day making homemade tomato soup and cheese crackers. Take care. God bless.